Shalom. Kala Allah, Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Kakotash. Honors unto you, elders, apostles, of great millstone, salutation. So of you sincere, Akimote, we're doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Kakotash. We're preaching the gospel of repentance. You Akimote, the gospel of repentance, house of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and your descendants among all these nations, Shalom Brakatam. Alright. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you the Israelites, and your descendants among the nations with us with our power, Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua has scattered us in these last days. And it's all going to boil down to faith at the end. That's faith and works that we have within the ministry, within dedicating our lives, the lives of which were given unto us by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in the first place, was without serving Yahweh and Yahushua, all things are worthless. All things lose meaning and purpose. There's no purpose outside serving Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua. And you can only serve the Most High, the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly keeps on calling God, whose name is Yahweh, through the intercessor, the mediator, who is Yahushua. He's the door, he's the way, he's the path. Okay, the key that leads us once again unto the Heavenly Father. Okay, let's go back to the name of the topic, Lot's wife and worldly attachments. Okay, before going anywhere, just look up the word attachments. Because there's meaning behind words. Okay. Attachment. So it's an exact part or extension that is or may be attached to something to perform a particular function. As there's affection, fondness, or someone or something. It says here, she felt an essential, as she felt this sentimental attachment to the place. You see, and that's part of the problem. Going to the title of the lesson, Lot's wife and worldly attachments, and that's one of the things which throughout the scriptures, okay, we've been admonished to take heed of this world that we live in. We must always be mindful of the situations that we find ourselves in, and how do we even get into those situations in the first place? Because this is a so wicked, God-forsaken society we live in. This Job 19:24, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. It has been given into the hand. Alright, let's get this. Work out the inspiration by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. The title is Luke chapter 17 and verse 37. So Luke chapter 17 and verse 32. It says, remember Lot's wife. Okay, what happened to her? We can get that account in Genesis 19. Let me see. Genesis chapter 19. This is the book of Genesis chapter 19. It goes back to what happened, okay, before the fall of Babylon the Great, before the fall of Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, and those surrounding cities, okay, before the fall of those nations. In preparation before the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, a warning came through. Okay, a warning came through our forefather. And he had to go out there and go and tell someone, like, look, it just cannot be only me that gets saved. But Yahweh Hashem Yahushua God showed mercy. Man, if you could only just find as our Lord, our forefather Abraham, he may say, look, if only I could just only get just only one. He kept on giving numbers and numbers, 50. Okay, 5. Okay, 1, just 1. And that man was Lot. That man was the righteous Lot, an Israelite, if you can receive it. Okay, and it's all coming down to the water right now. The same thing is happening. If you're gonna, if you used to be found having still attached, it's some form of fashion to this world. But what happened to Lord's wife is you. Those of you Israelites out there who are in these lands where the southern Esau calls mutually assured destruction, when these missiles hit, when these other nations where they're going to do their retaliation, if you caught up in if you find in yourself being without faith, okay, casting off the word and the word which you've been taught unto you, and in the some messed up stuff, being found unworthy at the end, you're gonna become missile. You're gonna become a feed to these missiles that they're gonna be dropped. Okay, and including other multiple judgments from Yahweh Shem Shai, and you're not gonna escape. So remember Lord's wife. There was a reason why she ended up not making it. Okay, so Genesis chapter 19. Let me start this. This is Genesis chapter 19 and verse 22. It says, haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou come thither. Therefore, the name of the city is called Zoar. The sun was risen up as is upon the earth when the Lord entered into Zoar. Guess what? The same thing goes back into the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. Nothing can be done. In fact, let me go into this quote of Revelation 7. Let's go to Revelation chapter 7. The same thing cannot be done. Okay, judgment cannot be let loose until one particular thing happens. And we are in the process of all of that happening. It is all transpiring. It's all happening before our own eyes. This is Genesis, it's like Revelation chapter 7, and verse 1 says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not be blown on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And those, that's the wind of these upcoming nuclear destruction. Okay, the bosom of destruction which Dr. Yahweh Shemashah is about to let loose upon the face of the planet. And you should be caught out there, being faithless without your garment, without your wedding garment, before the wisdom, Isaiah 3 and 6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, the strength of thy salvation. If you're going to be found, hey, there's nothing, there aren't any negotiations that are going to be happening in that time. Okay, it says Revelation chapter 7:1, it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any of the tree. And I saw another angel descending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to head the earth and the sea, saying, head not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. The same thing it is happening right now. And we are at the latter end of it, of the servants of Yahweh Shemashah being sealed. We are at that end right now. We are at that end right now. So let's go back to Genesis 19. Well, it's Genesis chapter 19, verse 22. It says, hastily escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou come thither. Therefore the name of that city is called Zoar. And the sun was risen upon the earth, where Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, because they were all in total, there were 5 cities which got destroyed by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And the same folly and wickedness that's what has been done in Sodom and Gomorrah, homosexuality, bestiality, okay, all kinds of wicked, all kinds of sexual immoralities that were happening back then. The same activities are being conducted and being done in Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, America. And it has a huge influence upon the world, the golden cup spoken of in the book of Jeremiah. Has influenced all these other nations to follow suit. And judgment will come upon the face of the planet. Much worse than what happened in the days of Noah. Way much worse. And that's why the warning is going out. Consistently going out. And powerfully so. By the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because great judgment is pending upon this society. For those who are being attached to this demonic, forsaken society, being attached to this place will cost you your salvation. That's why, in fact, let me just keep reading this. It says in Genesis 19, verse 26, 25, verse 25, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. Because the Most High did not let anything escape. Okay, everything got judged. Each and every single thing got judged. Okay, because the people were wicked, the leaders were wicked, everything had to be put down. Everything became defiled. Everything was defiled in that place, and that's why fire and brimstone from on high. But his wife, this Genesis chapter 19 and verse 26, but his wife looked back from behind, Genesis chapter 19 verse 26, but his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And she became a pillar of salt. Remember, they were wealthy. So it's the same thing that we see in the spirit of these women. Okay, they all about the flesh and light. And the same thing, in fact, let me just go into this. Let's get this another precept. All right. Let's get this. Let me see. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, and the same energy is been spewed. Okay, has been mingling among the nations right now. Beginning with the law, a whole lot of Israelites, 2/3. The same spirit, we see that happening right now. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 2 says, "For man shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." Okay, because Lot's wife was more interested to the wealth that which they were leaving behind, the beautiful houses or house, whatever wealth, which materialistic gains which they had into their possession back then in that land. That's why she had to look back. The same negative energy, this bad influence we see among men today, even among those who have come to the acceptance and knowledge and acknowledgement that they're Israelites. You see them. That's why they still want to push the worldly music, Hebrews like music. That's them still being attached to this world, and that's not going to work. Okay, and that's not going to work at all. It's not going to work with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in the long run. It won't work with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay, it won't work. You just cannot afford to be attached to this world. Let's go back to the definition of the word attachment. All right, this Luke chapter 17. No, let me go back to the definition of the word attachment. It says an extra part or extension that is or may be attached to something to perform a particular action, and the main action has been performed by people who are attached to this world. Is what they being lovers of themselves, doing what is pleasing unto the flesh, and that's going to be the detriment of many as of sex on the Sabbath. Is sex on the Sabbath. They become lovers of themselves. They are attached to this world and to this flesh. They're all about pleasing the flesh. What about the inward man? What about your spirit that is within you? And that's not even of your possession. That is of Yahweh Hashem. That's the reason why we're in this place in the first place. That's why we are created into existence in the first place. The second definition is affection. Says a fondness of sympathy for something, for someone or something. She felt a sentimental attachment to the place creep over her. Let me see. Let me see. Let me just do this. Okay, let me just go back to Luke 17 and verse 32. It says, remember Lot's wife. All right, remember her. Okay, in fact, let me get this in Ecclesiastes 12. Because this is the whole reason we're here. We're not here to be attached to this world. That's not the main goal why we're here. Okay, we are here for the sole purpose of presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice, and until the day of the redeemed of Yahweh Shai comes, His elect, until they be delivered, until Yahweh Shai gets all the praise and the glory that He deserves. And as His representatives, we're supposed to be making sure that we are not being attached to this place, because everything is not built to us. This place is never meant to be in. This is not the kingdom. A kingdom that has all things everlasting. It is the kingdom to come. All things we will receive all things in righteousness, unlike in this place. So why be attached to a place that's going to be wiped clean? All the foundations will be removed very soon. We're going to start afresh. Shalom to GMS Watchmen, Shalom. So all the Akim on the common boats are great millstone forever. So all the Akim out there on the common boats. Alright, this is Ecclesiastes 12. That's why it says here now in Timothy, they shall become lovers of themselves and unthankful. That's you being unthankful. Here this Yahweh Shemashai has brought you to for one single purpose, for Him to be glorified. But you're not doing that. All right, Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13 says, "Let us hear the whole conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." Okay, our duty is not attaching ourselves to this world. It is to rehearse these righteous acts, having faith in the only begotten Son, Yahushua. That's the whole duty while we're here, to be rehearsing these righteous acts. That's the reason why we're here in the first place. And to prophesy the downfall of this wicked demonic society we're living in. We're going to have a whole lot of Israelites. They're going to try to bring the things of the world into the truth. Amos 3:3, can two work together except they be agreed? There's no, okay, the word and the powerful word and doctrine of Yahweh has nothing in common with them. You cannot mingle the two. They're far different from each other. Okay, Micah 5. So the book of Micah. This is what's going to happen to those who attach themselves to the world. This is the book of Micah, chapter 5. Let me just do this. Micah 2, 5. Micah chapter 2. This is the book of Micah. Let me see. Micah chapter 2, verse 10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. Destroy you even with a soul destruction." That's how bad this society we're living in. It will destroy you, not just only just destroy you just like that instantaneously, but you're going to be suffering in the long run until your spirit goes back into the spirit world. And that's going to be a very shameful and painful departure, and that's not what you want. You just like when you read Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, you want to be received in glory from Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. Okay, that's what you want. That's what you want in order to be on the right path of returning into the spirit world in righteousness. Okay, having known that you have done all to stand, you've done your part, you've stood in your lot, in the righteous lot. It all begins with you detaching ourselves from this world, because it has been made specifically. It has been specifically been designed for our destruction. Okay. Says Micah 2:10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a soul destruction." A soul destruction. Okay, let's get this in Genesis. I believe it's 49. Genesis 50:20. Because the difference is that those who are serving Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is mindful of the situations which they're in. A proverb says, "Well, a righteous man will fall 7 times, but you always get back up." But does not mean that you're going to have to keep doing the exact same mistakes time and again. Okay, it does not mean that. We're going to go off here and there, but the thing is learning from our mistakes. Because we know this placement, it has been set up to make sure that, hey, we are in a spiritual warfare right now. Okay, we are in a spiritual warfare. Okay, this is Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. Verse 20, going back to the story of Joseph got sold by his brethren. Okay, but to the Ishmaelite, then ended up being in Egypt. This is Genesis chapter 50. Genesis chapter 15, verse 20. "But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but the Most High meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive." That's like this world has been mainly the social media, the internet has been made specifically designed for what? To destroy the masses. The great part of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans has been designed for evil, to make sure you get more and more in tune and attached to this place. But unto those, the righteous, okay, the hopeful elect, the righteous men of Yahweh, Hashem Yahshua, the prophets, it is all for good. Psalms 19. Okay, so that the gospel could be preached. And even the internet itself, we know ourselves, we're not supposed to be attached to it like that, because all of that it's not here forever. The internet is not forever. Okay, it's immediately when all shit break loose, there will be no more internet, no more having to create channels after channels. None of that. All of that's going to be the thing of the past. Okay, all that's going to be the thing of the past. But right now, we're making use of it in the righteous man, because there's a whole lot of folly on the internet. By the way, there's a whole lot of bullshit that goes on the internet. But look, just like Esau used the internet as a weapon, we are using it for righteousness. For righteousness. Okay. It says, as for you, you thought evil against me, but the Most High meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive, and these much people alive, they're going to be saved ultimately. Okay, through the unicorn being used are the elect. Revelation the 7th chapter, 12,000 out of each tribe, alongside of the great multitude of sincere believers in Yahweh Shemashah, those who are no longer having themselves attached to this place. Okay. Let's get this in John. First John 2 and verse 16. Let me see. Let me start up. St. John, First John chapter 2. And verse 15 says, love in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, it is not of the Father, but of the world. All these worldly actions will lead you, are the things which, among many other things, will separate you. In fact, let me get this. Just trying to find this one in the Apocrypha before I close out. I believe in second Esdras, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, second Esdras 16. Alright, second Esdras chapter 16. Let me see. Yeah, here with this. Second Esdras chapter 16, and verse 47. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. In the book of Proverbs, King Solomon said, look, in fact, let me just go into it. Proverbs chapter 30, verse, start the verse, verse 7. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7. Two things have I required of thee. It says, deny me them not before I die. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty or riches. Feed me with food convenient, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor. You need to be at the right path. Just like he says, so be not righteous over much. Be not even over much wicked. Okay, why should you die before your time? It's about striking that balance until we receive all things in glory, all things in righteousness. Not being attached. Because there is a such a thing of you being over righteous over much. That's why we had and we still have those wicked scribes and Pharisees that still get back in the reincarnation. Being over righteous over much. Okay? It says remove Proverbs chapter 13 verse 9 says, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. All right. Let's go back to 1 John 2 and 15. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. It's all about what food which is convenient unto us, getting our daily bread. Luke, okay, other one, the Lord's Prayer in Luke 6 and 9, going on down. It's all about the daily bread, so that you do not overdose. You don't do things which are pleasing unto the flesh only, but you must take care of the inward man, that spirit. That's what's supposed to be at all times, must be nurtured and be taken care of and be serviced. Okay, it says verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, it is not of the Father, but is of the world. Is what is. That's why even let me just see. It says, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. You see, all of this is going to be done away with. Even 2 Peter 3rd chapter. The fire is on the way. Everything has been kept for the perdition of the ungodly. So what manner of persons ought we to be? In all holy conversation is to be not attached to this place, because it's going to lead to your destruction. Micah 2 and 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Yeah, and this is the process right now. It says in Jeremiah, I'll run you to and fro, deliver ye every man his soul, because the days of judgment are right around the corner. Judgment is on the way. All praise and glory be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Makakoptash. Honors unto the elders, apostles, of great millstone, salutations to the sincere Akimote who are doing the work of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Makakoptash, Brakatam to you,